Okay, so first I want to show you my stage snake. Um, this is a live wire stage snake. You basically put this on the stage, next to the stage, in front of the stage, in the back of the stage, but wherever your amps are going to be, wherever, like I use an EQ for my monitor amp. I have the DBX driver rack PA Plus, which basically is a PA management system, so that would also be on the stage with my amps. You have 16 XLR inputs and 4 1/4-inch returns, outputs basically. So you have all your inputs going into the box all the way through this really long fat cable here, and it's pretty thick. There's there's 20, basically 20 cables all in there. Goes through 100 feet of that fat cable back to the mixer, which you'll see later, and then it goes out of your mixer all the way back through and comes out of here. This is where I have the left and right for my main PA, and this is basically for my monitor amp. And if I needed another monitor amp for a separate mix or whatever, it would come out of the other output. So now things are a little bit different than my last video. I'll show you in a second when we get it back over to the mixing board. But just a little bit more info on this. This helps a lot because you don't want, because before I got this, it was everything was plugged in separately into the mixer, and I use 2 different mixers. I have a compressor, I have an effects processor, I have an EQ, the crossover. All this stuff has to get plugged into one another. Like I said in my other videos, and the very basic premise of this whole idea of running sound is you need an input in order to get it output. So you need to signal the stuff in, and you need it to come back out, and hopefully it comes through your speakers, and hopefully it sounds good. So when we get back over to the board, I'm going to show you how I rerouted things. It's a little bit different than my other mixers, or different than my other videos. I have more stuff here in my little studio. So this is my stage snake. It was $329 at Guitar Center. I had a 20% off coupon. So I got it for like $263 or something like that. So that's my stage snake, and we're going to cut away, and I'm going to show you the mixer and how I have it set up. Okay, so here is the mixing board. You guys have seen it before. If not, let me zoom out just a tad. This is the Yamaha MX-1224, which basically just means it's 12 inputs with 4 subgroups out. So, real quick, the basic idea is, like I said, out of the stage box, all the way through the cable, an input on here. Now I have this running through a compressor, so it's out of channel 1 into a compressor, back into the board, and yada yada yada. So we'll get into that some other time. But as far as the auxes are concerned in doing the monitor out, is this this knob right here. This is your aux 1 and aux 2. Your board might have something different. Mine says monitor and one's effect. Aux 1 is pre-fade, aux 2 is post-fade. Pre-fader is before the fader. Post-fader is after the fader. Which means if you're sending the signal through the pre-fade, no matter what you do here, the volume is not going to change. Aux 2 I use for effects. This is how much of the signal I want to send to the reverb, and I want this to be able to control the volume of both the signal and the effect. So I want to make sure that that's post-fade. Because if not, if I had an effect going through a pre-fade, that means if I turn someone down, the effect would still be really loud, but the person, or if someone was talking or singing, it wouldn't. So I want to make sure that my effect on a post aux send is, I can control it using this fader. That's the difference between pre-fade and post-fade. Now, the signal that you send from aux 1 to your monitor, this controls the level of this particular channel. This one would control this channel, and so on, and so on, and so on. Now, you want all that signal for aux 1 come over here to the send. This is how much of all those signals from the aux 1, no matter where it is, whether it's one channel or all 12, all those signals from aux 1 are going to get sent out of this board. Now, all of the signal from aux 1, so you set all your levels, how much of each particular channel you want to go through your aux 1. And then this is your overall volume of how much of that signal you want to send out of your mixer. So now what happens is this is your send, this one here. So this goes all the way through the stage snake and goes out of the box itself. So it goes through the snake and out of the box. Now, when it comes out of the snake, let me just move the camera here. When it comes out of the snake, which is output or return C, which is this cable here, this actually goes into the EQ. And let's spin this around so I'll show you the EQ. Sorry about the amateur camera thing here. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, and focus. We must focus. And it goes into the EQ right here. Then out of the EQ and into this amp here, out of that amp and through this speaker. Okay, so before I go on and I completely forget to touch this point, as an answer for Chaywood and Learner, as far as getting multiple mixes, I only have one aux send on this mixer. So now, because I have two mixers, I have another aux 1 send, which means I can do another monitor mix, which means I can take groups to say, okay, well, that's kick, snare, snare, rack tom, floor tom, overhead, overhead. Now I want to make that all group 1 and 2. I can do group 1 and 2 out into line 1 and line 2, channel 1 and channel 2, and I can say, okay, that'll be my left and right, basically. That'll go aux 1 out to another amp or to a single channel amp, and that's my new monitor mix for the drummer. So